Welcome back to the Ozark Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Veet, joined as always by co-host of the show and my good buddy, Mr. Kyle Plunkett.
Yes, sir.
How's it going?
It's going real good.
Yeah?
Going real good. By the time y'all are hearing this, it's going to be just one step closer to fall.
Oh, man, we'll be so close.
All things fall season. But as of recording, it still feels like kind of the middle of the summer.
Yeah.
And I know we're mid-August as of now, but I feel like I'm starting to mentally hit that transition away from some fishing, away from some, it's just hot, I want to be by the pool, into some bow reps, I've been on the phone with buddies, talking them through bear baiting. I've been back and forth with my brother trying to figure out spots. Like, we're just starting to feel it. It's feeling good.
It's coming up, man.
It is.
It always sneaks up on you. It feels like you're just in the middle of the hottest part. You're just sweating your butt off, and then boom, early season deer's here, bear season's here.
Yep.
And the rest of it just goes from there.
It's awesome.
It's exciting. You've been having a good summer? You've done anything fun?
Trying to think. Yeah, I've done some fun stuff.
You went fishing the other day.
I did. We'll talk about that for the check station.
Yeah. I can't wait to hear about that.
Yeah, I think we've mentioned. Yeah, I've taken my family to do some trout fishing. We've stayed at a river cabin. I've got sabbatical coming up, so that's probably good to mention.
Yeah,
because we're figuring out our schedule for that. But I've put in enough time at my full-time job as a pastor that I've got a long break that I'm really looking forward to.
That'll be sweet.
We have held off on some time off to look forward to that time off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be real good.
That's good. Cool. Well, we've got a lot to cover today on this check station episode. We're going to start, as we always do, with our Hither and Yonder, and that is our take on outdoor and conservation news from Hither and from Yonder.
Near and far.
Near and far. And so we've got a few stories that we're going to try to go through pretty quick, because we have a lot this time. I think last time we did it, we only had one or two stories. We're getting better. We're getting a few more stories coming in, or maybe more is just happening. I don't quite know what it is. But we've got stories.
I'm excited for it. These episodes are fun. I'm having more fun doing these.
They're fun. I'm enjoying it. And then
great.
We're going to move to, so we'll go Hither and Yonder, then we'll go to our real reactions. Then we're going to move to our super fun shooting from the hip segment. And then we will wrap it up with some check station story, kind of what we've been up to, projects we're working on.
And some Holler stuff.
And Holler, yeah.
Some giveaways, some gifts, some discounts, some just all that kind of stuff.
That's right. So let's start with our news, Hither and Yonder. I'll go first. The first one is coming up. Don't forget, on September 13th, the 2025 World Championship Squirrel Cook-Off is back. It's coming. And our friend Joe Wilson, he always puts this on, and it's always, it's one of the best events of the year, if not the best. It's just a good time. You get to meet all kinds of people that you've seen online, or people that, just interesting folks cooking squirrel in a variety of exotic ways. And I can't imagine a more fun thing than that.
Judging it is the most fun.
Yeah.
Got to do that a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And this last year, I was out of town, and y'all walked around with a microphone taped to a spoon.
We sure did, yeah.
Just interviewed people.
And we just asked squirrel questions. We did some squirrel trivia, and we put that up on our YouTube, and it was fun. It was like a who's who of the Ozarks. We got a lot of different people in there, just asking them questions about squirrels. You never know, and
you never know.
The first question that we asked to everyone was, "How do you spell the word squirrel?" And you would be surprised how many people do not know how to spell.
What do we have, like a 40% passing rate?
Yeah, it was definitely less than 50.
I don't know if somebody put a microphone in my face and said spell squirrel, I don't know if I could do it. So don't do it. I have a microphone in my face. I'm not going to spell squirrel.
I won't put you on the spot.
But just out in the live, in
the
wild. That's hard.
Yeah, I know. We definitely put some people on the spot. But that's coming up. So September 13th. Last I heard, they were still looking for some spots. I think they've got like 30 or 40 different teams that they're trying to fill to have people cooking. And I don't remember, by the time this comes out, I don't know where they'll be at. But if you're wanting to do that, go sign up, because they're usually going to take more people. I mean, the more people cooking, the more fun the event is. So that's coming up.
The other Hither is, if you live anywhere near Devil's Den State Park, you've seen the news. I think it made national news. It may have. But there was
It was on Fox, or it was on CNN. It was on all of them.
Just a terrible, horrific, disgusting, out of nowhere, seemingly so, murder of a couple and their kids were around while they were out hiking. So just out hiking a trail and got stabbed. I believe it was stabbed.
Yeah.
And anyway, it was going all over the place, and people were freaking out. And my wife was telling me she's on, mom Facebook groups, and they're all asking, "What do you do when you're feeling unsafe?" and all this kind of stuff. And so it made some headlines. Anyway, they captured the guy. He was in a hair salon getting his hair done
In Springdale.
Yep. Come to find out, he is a teacher who is moving in from somewhere else to teach in Springdale public schools, and did this. But my Hither story, which is not newsworthy, but that is the news, is that was terrible and was talked about all over the place.
But they caught the guy.
I don't know how we figured this out, but my brother-in-law's good buddy is lived in the same neighborhood as this guy. And so he was telling us all the story, just that's freaky, and who knows, and never really. I mean, he just moved in, it seemed like, but yeah, neighbors.
Yeah,
neighbors
is crazy.
With the Devil's Den killer.
It's just senseless, man. It's a really terrible, terrible story, and gosh, I'm glad they caught the guy. It's crazy to think you don't know when stuff like that's going to happen. There's no rhyme or reason.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it makes me think about going hiking, always being prepared, taking a handgun, something just in case. You never know who you're going to run into out there.
Yeah, that's a wild story. And
yeah.
Prayers for those families and everybody. I know they got a whole new life ahead of them. Those kids have their mom and dad. It's a terrible story.
Yeah.
So let's move to something less terrible.
Seriously, man.
We have more Hither, or we up to Yonder?
We've got some more Hither. Yeah. So this is something kind of random bit of news, but something kind of cool. You don't see something like this a lot. Missouri has inked a law that bans the sale of 6 invasive species of plants. It was Senate Bill 105, signed into law on July 14th, and it denies the sale of burning bush, calorie pear, Japanese honeysuckle, perilla mint, winter creeper, and none other than the foe that we all know, Sericea lespedicea.
You're adding syllables and vowels into that.
Sericea lespedicea. Man,
terrible plant.
Yeah, just invasive, doesn't do really anything for wildlife, and hard to kill, and it's everywhere.
So it's inked into law.
Inked in the law. You cannot buy those in the state of Missouri now.
Good for them.
That's a win, man. That's awesome.
Good for them. We've got a new state record in the state of Arkansas.
We do.
It's for the white sucker.
Ooh.
An 11-year-old. I got his name right here.
Yeah, what is it?
11-year-old Daniel Bridgman.
Daniel.
From Baxter County caught a 1-pound, 15-ounce white sucker.
Sheesh.
Caught it on a night crawler. And that was below Bull Shoals Dam.
Yeah, he was fishing for trout.
With a worm.
With a night crawler.
Caught a sucker.
And caught a world record white sucker.
Or state record.
Yeah, that's right. State record.
State record. That's pretty awesome. I used to, when I was first learning to fish over there, I would think suckers I was seeing was trout, and I'd be casting at them until I was red in the face, only to find out that's not a trout.
Yeah, they don't really move for anything.
Nope.
That I read some of that story a little bit. Daniel, congratulations, man. That is awesome to have the state record at 11 years old. That's
incredible.
That's incredible. I did see that there was no previous state record, and this was the first entry. And so if you're thinking that you can go and catch a bigger one, Daniel, they're coming for you. I'm just saying, people are going to be like, oh, I got to go get the new state record. So
records are meant to be broken, Daniel.
That's
right. You're going to learn that early, man. I'm sorry. Maybe as early as 11.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how that went. It just wasn't.
No one had ever made an entry for it.
Amazing.
And so they sized it. But it was because Daniel and his dad, they were fishing, and he caught this one. He was like, man, this is a big fish. Like, we should go. He had the mindset to think, like, we should have someone look at this and actually do the entry. So they put in the effort. They definitely earned the record for sure. And that's a huge sucker.
I went shark fishing with my dad like 10 years ago in Florida off the coast. And we got on this pontoon boat that was falling apart so badly that the bees, like the carpenter bees, are flying out of the wood base. Anyway, we're trying to catch sharks, and as we're doing that, we keep pulling up these catfish. And like big catfish off the coast. I know. I couldn't believe it either.
Saltwater?
Yes, in the salt. So we keep catching these catfish and throwing them back in, whatever. We finally catch some sharks, and it's like a black tip, or they're cool. We put them back. And anyway, we get back to the boat ramp, and the guide's like, man, y'all are catching some big catfish. Dad was like, yeah, those were big. He was like, man, the state record's only, so-and-so big, whatever it was. And the whole drive home, we didn't talk about sharks. We talked about how we'd guaranteed, all but guaranteed to have got the state record catfish.
Guarantee we caught
But he didn't tell us, and we didn't care because we were trying to catch a shark.
Yeah.
So it reminds me of that. It's like nobody bothered to even put the entry in. But we were catching big catfish. It
Catching
was like,
some big
man,
ones.
we could have beat the record. Who
Oh,
knows?
somebody hearing this story or somebody, having read this online is like, I swear I've caught one way bigger than that.
Totally. They're going to go after the white sucker.
They're going back for it.
Oh, that's good.
I'd hate to be a white sucker right now. Is all
I
I'm
would
saying.
too.
Okay. Last story for Hither is the Arkansas Wildlife Action Plan was put out and is available for public comment right now through September 3rd. If you don't know what this is a blueprint that the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission puts out that basically details all of the species of greatest conservation need in the state of Arkansas, and it is a plan to proactively manage those species before they really get to a worse place, a state of rapid decline.
Endangered or critical or anything like that.
And even like when you get to that point where they truly are endangered and federally recognized, a lot of the times it actually becomes harder to do habitat work in those places because they're endangered, even if it is to improve the habitat. So they try to do all this proactively so that they can actually make a difference and manage it. So there's something like 500 plus species on this list. And of course, I went straight to it and I was like, did they add the Neosho bass? Because it wasn't on there before. And I searched through the whole document. It's like 800 pages. And, of course, you can do a little word search there. And they did. They added the Neosho bass to the action plan. It was on page 34 and page 367. Two different places.
Which is the one that's the whole page?
The whole page, page 367. It's got its own feature page in there.
It's got a photo.
It's got a photo by our buddy Ethan Dodson.
Yep.
Micropterus Vlox is his name on Instagram, which is
so fitting.
The scientific name of the Neosho bass. And they say it in there. They laid out Neosho bass, Micropterus Vlox. They dropped the Dolomew. So it is official. It's officially in their plan. And so it was reading it. It was interesting. They list the population as stable. And so that either means that they've done some research, and I know they've been doing some research that we hope to feature on here in the next couple of months. And so I'm hoping that means they've actually got research that says, their population is stable and holding on in some places and not declining as fast as we thought. So I'm hopeful.
But for the first time, it's on that list.
That's right.
Which means last summer's episodes and everybody who listened and everybody who talked to AGFC and everybody who helped get that story spread around, it moved the needle.
It did.
To at least get it on the paper.
Yes.
That's a big deal.
It is. And if you're listening and you spread the word and you shared it, this goes to you. This is a thank you to y'all because we had Game and Fish folks calling us, asking us questions. We're like, we just did the episode. We talked to the scientists and stuff like that. But, everyone was learning about it at the same time just because this was new information. And so the fact that y'all rallied around it made a difference. So
it really did.
I think that's really, really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. September 3rd, you can go, there's a survey that you can go take and comment on some of the plans and stuff in there. So that's
everybody comment on the Neosho.
It's a way to make your voice heard. Definitely do that. Okay, moving on to the Yonder stuff, news, things not from around here.
Yonder. I got a good first Yonder.
What you got?
Robert Ewens.
Who is he?
You heard that name?
I have.
I guess,
as of about 30 minutes ago.
I was telling you about him. Okay, fair. He just beat the single-engine record on the Great Loop.
What's the Great Loop?
Which is a formalized, I guess now enough, boat race by time. That's like the Mississippi River up into Canada, over into New York, down into the Gulf and back around. It's like a big old loop.
Big old loop.
And this dude's 71 years old and did it in a John boat, an aluminum John boat. And I've been following him on Instagram.
A one-handed tiller?
Yes, like a one-handed tiller on a John boat. And his boat's sick because it's just like army green. He's got a canopy he can put up if he wants to, get out of the sun. But you can tell it's just loaded down with gas tank after gas tank after gas tank after gas tank because he's just...
Looks like a doomsday
He's
prepper.
just going. He runs out, plugs it back in, goes, ready to roll.
Yeah.
So yeah, he beat the record
Wow.
of the single man propelled boat.
That's impressive. Do you know how long it took him?
Look. Did it in 19 days, 13 hours, and 1 minute.
Just in the boat the whole time?
I mean, I guess.
Wow.
I don't know if he slept in it
That's
or
a
what,
feat.
but yeah, 19 days.
Wow, that's really...
It also, knowing that makes me want to see somebody do it like twice as fast.
Yeah.
Like if somebody builds a speedboat.
Just for this.
Just for this.
Yeah.
And is like, oh, I'm going to crush this thing.
Oh, man.
Like, could somebody do it in 3 days? Could somebody do it in 8 days? I don't know. 3 is probably not possible.
Yeah.
There's probably some creeks and some small water and stuff that you really can't. But
I would think maybe you could shave a few days off it, probably.
I mean, most likely.
But I don't want to invalidate what Robert Ewens just did.
No, it's really cool. Well, and his story has got a bunch of attention. So now, me included, like now people know about the Great Loop.
Yeah.
And that, like, I was like, what's the Great Loop?
Yeah.
Why is this the thing? Who cares? But apparently it's a thing.
Okay.
And people have been doing it. And it kind of reminded me of the, oh man, this is going to be a live correction, I'm sure. What's the
race down in Texas?
No, that's a canoe race, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Cannonball Run. It reminded me of the Cannonball Run. So the east to west run in a car.
Never heard of it.
That's another, we'll talk about this later. I'll give you the quick highlight though. It's cool. It's a race, super illegal, street racing, but it's from like East Coast to West Coast. And it's who can make it across the continental United States the fastest. And there's a route. And the guy who beat it the last time, his record will never be beaten because he started his run right at the height of COVID shutdowns. So like everybody's stuck in their home. Roads are cleared for the most part. Like you're not allowed to leave when all that garbage was going on.
Yeah.
Like, and he did the Cannonball Run.
Okay.
But there, people have been doing it forever. It's been a thing forever. And so that's a popular car race. This seems like a popular boat race.
Gotcha.
Similar idea. Big long loop, and who can do it?
We're gonna have to do it one year. You and me in our canoes.
The loop.
Oh yeah.
I'm so down.
Let's do it.
We're gonna have to look into it.
We gotta look in. We got some research.
If there's a 2-man canoe record, it's begging to be beat by us. Like it is begging.
It's begging. You're right.
That'd be awesome.
All right, we got to move on. We got stuff happening in Canada, man. Yep. The Crown Land in Canada, there is a hiking ban right now. Some crazy stuff going on up here. I guess it's because it's dry. There's fires going on, so they're trying to keep people safe. Mm-hmm. So they're telling people to stay off of this public land. And there was a man who politely went up to the ranger station and said, "Ladies, gentlemen, I'm here and I'm going to go on a walk in the woods." And he went on a walk in the woods. They told him not to, but he respectfully said, "I'm going to go do it as an act of civil disobedience." And so they followed him into the woods and they wrote him a ticket for $28,000.
$28,872 and some change
for walking in the woods.
Yeah. And they've dished out 6 $25,000 fines to 6 other people.
Yeah.
Bringing their grand total up to a lot of money.
I mean, they're just
for trying to walk in the woods.
Making money. Yeah, I get it. I get the civil disobedience. It's public land. You're saying, this is my right and all that stuff. But I get the safety component too, So I'm not going to say exactly what you should do. I would personally try to dodge the $28K coming out of my bank account.
Well, the majority of Canadians are calling it extreme government overreach.
Yeah.
So I don't think people are too happy about it.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
I get that.
I wouldn't be happy if I was told I couldn't go walk in the woods.
I wonder how they come up with the fine. Like, why 28? Why so much? I mean, I guess
I don't know. I guess they're really trying to keep people from going out there.
Yeah, that feels like a random number and way too much.
Yeah,
but dang.
I don't know. It's got to be steep enough that it does what you just said, which is I would try to dodge the $28,000.
Yeah, I'm
fine. So
trying to keep my dollar bills where they're at.
But yeah, Crown land.
Yeah,
it's public, but kind of not. It's like the Crown owns it.
Yeah,
which I guess similar way of saying we own it, but it's a little bit different.
A little bit different.
So yeah,
Canada, they do stuff different.
Canada. So that's a big Yonder story.
All right, what's the last one?
Lightning bugs are dying.
Yeah, I just knew you were gonna say that.
That's a big one.
That's too bad, man.
Yeah, it's the worst, actually. Scientists are warning that we might be the last generation to see lightning bugs.
That's just crazy to me. I remember growing up and seeing lightning bugs everywhere.
Yep.
Even not that long ago, back in college, there was this. I'll never forget this. There was this field that was nearby my house that I lived in college, and I drove by it one night, and it must have been a breeding ground of epic. I've never seen so many lightning bugs. I mean, you think you see a lot in a field until you see the ground glowing.
Yep.
And that's what it looked like. It was pulsing. This field was pulsing. There were millions of lightning bugs, and they're just like, oh man, it was so cool. I'll never forget it. But it's too bad. I mean, we all grew up with those, catching them, pinching their butts off, sticking them on our foreheads. Maybe that's why we're missing a lot of them now.
I don't know if you put a big enough dent in their population.
Well, if we all did that,
concerned.
if we all collectively did that, it probably didn't help.
I'm pretty sure the ones who are learned on this thing are saying it's pesticides,
Yep.
urbanization,
Habitat degradation,
loss, and climate change.
and light pollution.
Yeah.
They're saying
and
light pollution. Yeah. Which I don't actually know the reason behind the light pollution.
I
thing.
think it's messing up their breeding capabilities. Like they're using light to communicate.
Yeah.
So if it's too lit, then it throws things off.
Ugh.
In a similar way to how people on the coast will be upset by lights that are left on by the beach for sea turtles because they're meant to follow the moon, like into the water, the babies, and a lot of them end up following the path straight to the street. I'm sure it's something like that. I haven't admittedly done much of a deep dive into this. It's more just sad.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we can figure out how to reverse the lightning bug trend.
That's one. I mean, you hear stories like this, and it's just like, man, thing after thing after thing is like habitat degradation, urbanization, pollution, pesticides. You're like,
Totally.
man, all of this stuff, a lot of this stuff is not going in the right direction.
Nope.
I'd like to turn it
Lightning
around.
bugs, bees, and butterflies.
Mm-hmm.
Big three that are in some trouble.
Yeah.
If you know how to fix that problem, email us. theozarkpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you, actually.
I'm going to Google real quick because I actually want to know this. Why is light pollution a problem for lightning buggies? Here's what's coming up, okay? I got a little status bar loading. Here it is. Light pollution disrupts lightning bugs, fireflies, mainly because their entire mating system depends on being able to see each other's light signals clearly. Mating signals get washed out. You're on the money here, Kyle. Number 2, behavioral disruption. Fireflies are crepuscular.
Just like a white-tailed deer.
Just like a white-tailed deer. Or nocturnal, timing their display to low light periods at dusk or night, so excessive artificial lighting can shift or shorten their active display window. And then population level effects. Over time, if mating success is consistently lower in lit areas, populations can decline.
So is this a regional thing, or is it like across the board?
They're saying across the board. I would assume that as you go into more rural areas, you probably still have more lightning bugs. But yeah, they're saying. I mean, you read the headline. They're saying scientists. They're saying, you know what they're saying.
They say a lot of things though.
They're saying we're going to be the last generation to see them. So
I'm going to hope they're wrong. Thankfully, science has been wrong before, and I'm going to hope they're wrong on this one.
That's true.
I want lightning bugs.
I do too. All right, that's the Hither and Yonder.
Good stuff.
What do we got next?
Next, we've got some real reactions.
Real reactions. These are us really reacting to your real reactions of our reels.
Did you just come up with that?
Yeah, I wrote it down.
Good for you.
Yeah. What do we got?
We got 2.
Okay.
So for everybody listening, we're way ahead on our schedule, which is good because that helps us not feel pressured.
And Kyle's going to be gone for the next month.
Yeah, kind of crazy.
Sabbatical.
So we're ahead, which means we are sitting on some episodes that are to be released right now, kind of as the day of recording. But when you're listening to this, there's going to be just more content that's come out between now and then. So there will be some more updated stuff, some bike stuff, some kind of final conversations on that with Mike Rush. Another story that we'll tell, kind of tease at the end of this, but we're going to react from 2 reels, I guess.
Okay. What's our first one?
One is about toxic cow poop.
Okay.
And then the other one is about night fishing for smallmouth.
Okay.
So this first one is Dr. Grant Woods, and he and a whole team, they run Growing Deer TV. They're a YouTube channel, but way before they're a consulting kind of land management practice. So they'll go out to farms and say, this needs to happen, quit doing this, do this more, etc. And they grow big deer, which is cool. Anyway, dude's brilliant. He's got his doctorate, has a whole team of biologists. They know their stuff. This thing has gone for over 500,000 views on socials, and most people commenting on it don't like it.
Okay.
Typical internet.
Oh, man.
But here is Dr. Woods talking about what happened to cow poop.
You've seen cow pies out in the pasture. You can throw as a frisbee, just oxidized. That used to never happen. 3, 4, 5, 6 days later, that's gone. Flies, maggots, worms, dung beetles, they turn that into fertilizer. Critters that used to break that down are dead because every cow out there's got ivermectin or some parasite medicine going in it, comes out a toxic poop pile.
I had no idea. Cow poop used to actually just go away. So could you put cows on a property and not give them medicine?
Oh, yeah.
And go backwards in time and keep rebuilding?
People do that. Those
do?
are regenerative ag farmers. What you're doing, you're moving the cows.
Mm-hmm.
The smarter farmers follow the cattle about 3 days with the chicken wagon. The chickens scratching about by 3 days. The larvae are big enough that the chickens can eat, and you're cleaning up all the flies. And by the way, those pasture-raised eggs that got no medicine in them, those are high-dollar eggs.
So what are people mad about? Here's the I've been off social media for I'm taking like a 30-day break, just hiatus, just to reset and, get my mind straight, right? So I haven't seen a lot of these. And so what are people saying? Why are they so mad about this?
That's good. You're actually really reacting to our reels.
I really am.
So the highest liked comment says $20 says he has a grazing program or a class he wants to sell you, etc. Why were there cowboys who burned buffalo chips, all that kind of stuff? Thankfully, people are coming to his aid, and they're like, he's got a PhD and does land management for wildlife. Like, he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, he's not just making this stuff up.
And then, some people were talking about the ivermectin and talking about how it's bad. A lot of people were like, have you ever heard of buffalo chips? People used to burn dry cow and horse dung and et cetera,
I've heard of that stuff.
The part of the conversation that a social media clip is not going to connect or is not going to capture is the conversation that we had with him about how the Ozarks used to be filled with dung beetles and how those beetles are largely gone now.
Yeah. And they would have been breaking down.
They would have been breaking stuff down. And so, maybe in the Great Plains out west, you would have had piles of buffalo and that would have been burned and whatnot. But it's like for our area, because we're the Ozark podcast, and that's what we're talking about, when agriculture really was taking off and we moved away from hunting and fishing primarily, you're going to have cows on the landscape and you're going to have then chickens on the landscape and hogs and all that kind of stuff. And the system as a whole, when it was done small scale and sustainably, just worked better.
Mm-hmm.
And now when you're having, you're having big farms and concentrated areas, and you're trying to figure out what to do with your cow poop and it's not going anywhere. That's when you introduce ivermectin and all this stuff to help it break down. And that's where most of the controversy came from.
Gotcha. Yeah, because he was saying the toxic cow poop can kill the dung beetles, and that's eroded that population over time. We don't really have them anymore. And turkeys and chickens would have scratched up the poop and further broken it up and things like that, and then that would have gone back into the soil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, I get that. Yeah, because I hear you always hear about like burning dried cow poop or buffalo chips for fire starter and stuff like that. And so I can see where some of the rub is. But yeah, you got to remember this guy. I mean, if you're just scrolling through the internet, and you don't know who Dr. Grant Woods is, you might not know his credibility. But you got to know that Dr. Grant Woods knows his stuff. He's not just making this stuff up.
Totally. He's also not commenting on agriculture in this clip.
Yeah.
It was just a broader conversation about what was on the landscape versus what is now and how things would break down and all that. I mean, he was talking about ag, but that was not the primary focus of the conversation.
Yeah.
So there's a larger conversation about beetles, maggots, flies, chickens, turkeys, wild animals, and kind of everything else.
Yeah.
Go listen to it. It's a great one.
Got it. And if you said something mean about Dr. Grant Woods, you better call him and say, I'm sorry.
I would agree. He's a gem of a human being.
He is. He's
Cannot be mean to that man.
No, not at all.
That one's good. Number 2 is a clip from our Holler community.
Okay.
And this was reserved for them to get as a bonus episode.
Yeah.
But we wanted to get just a story out.
Yeah. Show people what we're talking about in the Holler.
So this is targeting smallmouth at night.
Why do you go target them at night, and what is it about it that makes the big one so much easier to catch?
I got a story that will illustrate this.
Okay.
A few years back, Game and Fish were doing population density studies on Crooked Creek. And so what they did was they tagged a bunch of smallmouth. There was red tags and there were yellow tags. Red tags You know where I'm going with this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Red tags, I think, were 18-inch fish or bigger. And then yellow tags, I believe, were anything under that. So what you would do is you'd catch a fish with a tag, you'd clip it off, and then you would mail it in for a cash reward. Red tags, if I remember right, were worth $100. Yellow tags were anywhere from $5 to $25. He and I, we're all giddy. I think it's our first night trip of the year. We're hiking up the creek, and we have an awesome night, right? We're catching giant smallmouth. We don't use lights, okay? So it's pitch dark out there. We're all excited. We take a grip and grin, and then you put the fish back. Okay, so we walk back to the truck, and we're all excited, man. We're like, oh, let's see those photos. Let's see those photos. We start flipping through the phone, and our excitement turns to horror because we're flipping.
4 of those big guys.
4 red tags.
We could have been a $400 a night.
And about eight yellow tags, right?
Just throwing $100 bills at the creek.
Just throwing it back.
There you go.
And we just turned to horror. We're like, what did we just do?
Yeah, good old Dwayne and Tad, man. Those guys know what they're talking about when it comes to smallmouth. And if they go fish at night for smallmouth, you might want to pay attention. We went over there. You were actually gone that week. You had something going on, so me and Bear Newcomb went over there to go talk with those guys, and then we actually went fishing with them after we recorded, and we intentionally went over there kind of later so that we could be over there as it got dark, and we went and hit the creek, and sure enough, Dwayne Hayda, man, he just outfished all of us like it was nothing, and there were 3 of us. Tad's an excellent fisherman too, but he didn't catch anything. I didn't catch anything. Bear didn't catch anything. And Dwayne caught 3 just solid smallies out of the creek, just pulling them in left and right. And even at one point, he handed off his rod with his fly. It was like, you go fish this. Still nobody caught. He just knows what he's talking about. But yeah, man, it was fun. It's a different style of fishing. Going at night, everything is off feel. You're not using lights. You don't want to shine any light into the creek. Even when we were like, once Dwayne finally did catch some and we pulled him back to the bank, we kind of pulled him out of the water and we faced away from the water to turn our flashlight on so no light would go into the creek. And it was like everything was very, very intentional about keeping the light out of the water. And so it's all feel. You're trying to close your eyes. You can close your eyes, but you don't have to because it's pitch black and you're feeling every bump, every rock. You're just trying to work that fly and really try to visualize what's happening down there and just feeling for any subtle takes or changes or movements. And it is a super, super fun way to go fish and learn a new style of fishing. And sure enough, Dwayne caught 2 really, really good ones. One was a good smallmouth, but 2 really good ones. Bear was like, dude, those are some of the biggest smallmouth I've ever seen. Just right here.
That's great. All the reactions on that are people commenting with dollar bills and cry face emojis.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, man, you should have done that.
Oh, that's tough. Yeah, throwing back $100 bills.
Feeling it for them.
Yeah, that is tough.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is a good one. All right. And then I think that's all we've got for real reactions, but we were going to talk. We've got, so we just are kind of coming off some of the biking conversations that we've had. By the time y'all are hearing this, we will have posted a few reels from Mike Rush's episode. We don't have the opportunity to hear those right now or know what those even are. Our producer is working on clipping those out of the episode, and we don't know what y'all are going to react to those. But if it was anything like the first time we talked about biking, I'm sure they will deliver some fun. Did we react to any of the?
Oh, we did.
The biking? Oh,
yes.
Yeah, we did on the last check station. Yeah. So we don't have anything to react to, but I was just going to ask kind of, since it just came out a couple weeks ago now, as you're listening, the episode with Mike, what were your thoughts on that episode?
I thought it was helpful to try to bridge the gap between hunters and hikers and anglers and the mountain bike community. I think it was helpful to clarify from his perspective, being here for a while and also being in the bike scene, like why biking is valuable for him, for a community standpoint, a health standpoint, even a history standpoint. A lot of how he and his buddies engage with the natural landscape is by finding really cool trails and then wanting to learn the history about it even. So he's telling some stories off mic about going past different, old grave sites or old farmsteads or all this kind of stuff and just being really intrigued to try to figure out what that is, which is something I would do. Like I would
Oh, yeah.
totally be all about. And so that was really good. I know we'll talk and have talked more, and we'll, I imagine, continue to talk, even though we don't want to just keep this like front and center of conversation for everything, but didn't have like the clearest answer on what does conservation look like in the biking world. So I'm excited to see how community leaders and thought leaders and people who are passionate about both even can come up with some answers on that. But overall, I thought it was a good kind of third part to a 3-part conversation on all things bike.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, same. I think it was good to move back towards the center a little bit of just like, what do we have in common? We both love the outdoors. People who are at least gravel biking and mountain biking, kind of even separating those communities a little bit, understanding what each values. But I, at the end of the day, we have a lot more in common as people than we do that makes us different.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's important to remember in any of this stuff. And I think it's also important to remember that, like, and I don't know that we probably could have done a better job on the first two of being more clear. It was like, I don't dislike mountain bikers, actually. Like, if you bike, I have no problem with that in itself, or you, or your personality, or anything like that. I have biked before. I own a bike. I'll admit it, right? It's not that. It's just like the development of these trails, and if we're going to lean into it and invest in this infrastructure of our trails and our network, and we're going to build onto public land, what are the implications of that? What should that mean? How are we going to protect public land? What does conservation look like? And a lot of people talk about trail maintenance as being like, well, we do volunteer and we do trail maintenance, and those are good things. Those are helpful, but at the end of the day, too, you're still only doing trail maintenance because you're developing land. It's like kind of it's the bare minimum, I think. Like, yes, because you're putting in a trail, you need to maintain it so that you're not further degrading the habitat. But can we do more than that? Can we actually enhance public lands is kind of where I hope the conversation goes, and kind of my frame of reference for that. So yeah, I think he said it, and I think he owned up to it. Like, there's not a lot of formal routes for conservation to happen from the biking community that is using the public land. And I would hope to see that change. I would hope that people would recognize that. The same way that even, former leaders within, even like Sam Walton did some of this with Acres for America, and Kirk Dupes, who was executive with Walmart and a friend of Sam Walton's, who we've had on the podcast, and a former commissioner, Bobby Martin, former Walmart. Those guys were all very passionate about conservation and served on the commission. Those last two that I mentioned, Kirk Dupes helped put into effect Amendment 75, which is the 1/8 cent sales tax that funds more than half, I think, of Arkansas Game and Fish's budget. And so, like, those leaders have existed in the past. I hope that they will continue to exist in those high up places in our communities to highlight those lack of conservation places or areas where that's needed. So yeah, I think, the conversation's not done. I think we clarified what our position was. We don't dislike mountain bikers. And I think I learned a lot about mountain biking and gravel biking. And I think there's a lot of really awesome people who are in that community who care about wildlife, who hunt and fish, and power to those people. And we had a lot of people reach out. And if you did reach out and you said, I appreciate the conversation. We had a lot of people say these were their favorite episodes that we've ever done. And then we had just as many people say that they really strongly disagree with us. And to both sets of people, thank you for reaching out. And thank you for the feedback. We always love hearing from y'all and learn a ton from hearing from y'all. So they were fun. I'm glad that we got to follow up with Mike. He's a great guy. I really enjoyed talking to him. And I hope that people like the episodes.
Yeah, we don't know how. We don't have any of the reactions.
No, we don't.
But we'll see.
Yeah,
that was good. Up next, we've got a shooting from the hip.
Shooting from the hip. Okay, so the last couple times we've done the shooting from the hip, we've done hot takes, controversial ideas, just kind of crazy out of the atmosphere ideas.
I'm here for it.
And this one is really not that. This is a little bit different, but kind of spurred on by the biking conversation, but also just in general thoughts that I've had since I've started. We've started talking about Wendellberry and how do we belong to a place and what does that even mean and why do we talk about the things that we talk about and what's the ethics behind all of this when it comes to hunting and fishing. Which I think, just as a side note, I think it's important to talk about and think about for yourself of like, why do I hunt and I fish and why do I believe that it's ethical? Do I believe that it's ethical? One, I think you should answer that question for yourself. And then two, the follow up to that is why, and knowing that and being able to speak to it. So if someone ever talks to you about like, you kill animals and I think that's wrong and you're terrible, like, kind of being able to defend yourself and defend hunting and as conservation and talk about how it gives back and things like that. So I was kind of thinking about how can we unify all these different outdoor pursuits across hunting, fishing, biking, hiking,
Trail riding,
riding, floating, all the stuff. And so I try to just put a few words that this is not a finalized concept or anything like that, but kind of some thoughts that I had on this was understanding that I am a part of this place. What we do here matters. The future of the wild depends on how we treat it, talk about it, and protect it, not just for our own enjoyment, but for generations after us who will never know us. And so with that, as you kind of apply this, you try to think through like, how would I apply this to hunting? How would I apply this to fishing? How would I apply this to whatever outdoor pursuit it is? I think it's just there's kind of a formula that I created in my head to think through this.
So you're proposing like a new ethic around stewardship.
Yeah, like a new, if you read like Aldo Leopold, he's got like a land ethic. And I'm kind of trying to frame up like an outdoor recreation ethic. And again, I'm not proposing a true finalized concept or anything like that. But I think that in my head, the way that I've been thinking about it is if you had an equation and you think about the way that I hunt, hunting in itself is consumptive. Just if you're taking the basic, I go out, I shoot an animal, I harvest it, I bring it home, I eat it. You're consuming that, right? You're taking away from the resource. Now, if you understand conservation, you understand how that actually can do more than just that. There's a flip side to that of like removing an animal from the population, creating more room for other animals to grow, sharing the resources across another greater number of animals, things like that.
Right.
But there's still, I think there's a responsibility if we're all trying to make our natural resources the best that we can, and specifically public land. We all have this shared resource that we all use together and we all own together. I think you have to go through this formula, and the formula in my mind is what you consume should be less than or equal to what you conserve plus what you create. And I think as long as you have that formula right and you don't consume more than what you conserve plus what you create, I think that in my head is a sustainable way of operating on public shared lands that we all use.
And private lands.
And private lands.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. And so, when you think about hunting, it's like, what if you only hunted in proportion to what you gave back in terms of timber stand improvements, burning, herd health. Yeah. And so if you're trying to separate conserve versus create, I think about like conserving would be, what if we just took this place and we said, we're never going to develop it. We're just going to leave it alone. That's a wildlife place. It's a sanctuary. We'll just leave it alone and no human impact. I would say that's conservation. That's okay. Thumbs up. Create now would be, what if we actually created more habitat, created better habitat, cleared the canopy, opened up sunlight to come to the ground so you could put more tonnage of food. There's some equation out there, I'm sure, of like for every acre you cut down canopy to get sunlight to the ground and you have vegetation growing, creating food and cover, there's probably, this is a made up number, but like 1,000 tons of food for every acre that you clear. And so like, that's true. You're creating food that wasn't there for habitat, for wildlife, creating habitat that wasn't there. And so same with fishing. Like, what if you only took, what you needed, but practice catch and release, not just blanket catch and release, but catch and release that matters. And you're only releasing fish that truly have a chance to make it. Like if you're catching something and you don't think it's going to make it, don't release it. Go ahead and take it, eat it. You put it to use. But I think it's just what I'm trying to frame up here is like, if we're going to all hold each other to a high standard, if we're going to hold people in the biking community to a high standard of putting stuff back into public lands, we have to first hold ourselves to a high standard of hunting in proportion to what we take and not taking more than what we use, making sure money's going back into it, formalizing these things and carving out a piece of the pie for wildlife and wild places and stuff like that. And so anyways, this just kind of, I'm trying to put words to this idea of like, how do we raise the standard for us first, and then anyone who uses outdoor spaces, how do we all hold how do we all hold each other to a high standard to make sure that people after us will continue to have public lands and wild places to use?
So conserve less than or equal to, consume should be less than or equal to conserve plus create.
Correct.
Equals healthy land ethic.
Yeah.
Healthy stewardship ethic.
Equals sustainable public lands
good.
for our kids and their kids after them.
Okay, I'm gonna ask y'all, everybody's listening to do something. Think through that equation. So consumption less than equal to conservation plus creation. For whatever discipline you want to apply it to. And I'm asking because I want to hear, like, how does the river floater? That's just their thing. They kayak, they canoe, they just love it. They just float. Like, how do they think about that equation in their head?
Yeah.
Or the families who just love to hike, or people who are really passionate about foraging, like, where it's like maybe less obvious of, well, herd management's important, or you take older age class males out of the bear population because it's actually going to increase across the whole. Like, how does that apply to mushrooms? For whatever your discipline, your thing, whatever that thing is for you when it comes to outdoor recreating, run that equation as best you can, write out your logic, and let us know if you don't mind. Like, I would be thrilled.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
To hear from somebody who's like, I don't like, I listen every now and then whenever you're talking about this and this, but my thing is floating rivers. And here's where I think this equation would work. Cause I'd be interested to know how that plays out.
Yeah.
Like discipline to discipline to discipline.
I would too. I mean, truly, I haven't fleshed it fully out. I've thought about it from a few different frames and a few different activities.
Things that we talk about often in love are they're automatically consumptive. And so we have to be aware of the how we create and how we conserve.
Yeah.
Like you don't hunt to not consume.
Right.
Like not get something, right, and consume. So you're automatically starting off with the less than or equal to. You have to think through it. But if you're an overlander or a hiker, then you probably don't think in those terms as readily. So
yeah.
But they're there.
They are there.
But you're still consuming the resource in some way.
In some, yeah. And I think too, hunting is a great example because there was a point in time where people were not thinking this way and hunting overconsumed. And we took more than we gave back.
Yeah, it was market hunting or whatever. Yeah, totally.
And we almost lost some of the icons of wildlife in North America until someone said, nope, we can't keep doing it this way. We need to conserve and we need to create and make space for these things, and formalized it. And I think that's the whole thing is like, until you actually have a formalized system, it's kind of like you don't know, but over time you'll start to see it's getting worse. It's getting worse. It's getting worse until someone's finally at some point going to be like, no, we actually have to do something and we're going to change. But if we could all start thinking about that now in our own little disciplines and being proactive about it, we could set up systems to, enhance wild lands and public places and the things that we actually love. Like if you're a floater, the rivers that you love, way before they get to a point of decline. And so, yeah, like, I mean, just thinking through, like, if I was a floater, like, I would think, if you float 20 plus times a summer, you might consider 1, 2, 3, 4 of those floats pulling out some trash, pulling out tires out of it, taking some extra time to, clean up campsites along the way, maybe finding a way to, like, give some money to a stream bank restoration program, things that ultimately enhances your experience, but also enhances the health of whatever you're using, the resource that you're using. I think the flip side of this would be like, I mean, I can think of some activities in the outdoors that like I'm not trying to throw shade at, but like the equation is way out of balance.
Mm-hmm.
Like you think about something like golf, for example. And again, I'm not hating on golfers. Don't come at me. I've golfed before. I still enjoy, going golfing with my dad or my brother, or, guys who like to go golf, and that's how we spend time. But, we're taking large swaths of land, taking all of the habitat for wildlife away, putting in this grass that's not even an inch tall, and it's pretty and it looks really good, but it creates nothing for wildlife, and it's purely consumptive in my mind. Again, someone's gonna not like me for saying that, but like you're going out there to play a game that is fun, and you're outside and you're getting some exercise, but like you're not conserving anything, you're not creating anything. It's a fully consumptive activity, and you gotta if we were putting golf courses everywhere, I think everyone would be like, this isn't right. Like if we were putting golf courses in the middle of the public lands in the national forest, people would be like, this doesn't feel right. So there's a balance. I think there's room for golf in this world, and I'm not saying get rid of golf.
Yeah.
But just be thoughtful about it. Be mindful and consider, how is my activity? What's my equation?
I'm going to be running this equation, because then even your inputs start changing when it comes to private versus public land ownership, and there's some level of like private land, you kind of do what you want to do.
Yeah, it's your land.
But then
tell me to screw off.
Totally. And then it's like, but where's what's the responsibility under stewardship there? It's not going to be your land forever.
Mm-hmm.
Your land does not remain yours forever.
Yeah.
It's still the land, right? At just the highest level. And so, yeah, it's interesting. I want to think through all that a little bit more. It's a good shooting from the hip. It's profound shooting from the hip, actually. I did not think we were going to go there today.
I like your idea of people, if like, examine your own discipline and how you use it. And then think too, like there's going to be a spectrum within that. You're going to have people who are very consumptive, even within their own discipline. Even within hunting, you have people who are way more consumptive than people who are creating and conserving a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a spectrum there, but consider yourself, and then think about others in your community, how you could do more or less.
Mm-hmm. And in doing so, you might save the lightning bugs.
You might
just solve the equation and save the lightning bugs.
That's right. All right, our last segment, really, in some of the bread and butter, check station.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck have you been doing, man? Outside stuff, projects. What are you working on?
Well,
funny stories.
I got an
update real quick.
Okay.
My last check station story, where I saved Featherfoot from the skunk and the cat running around the neighborhood in my boxers with a 22. Featherfoot is gone. He stayed out late one night, didn't go back to the hen house again, and it's been 2 weeks.
Skunk got him?
I don't know. I never found feathers, but Featherfoot's gone.
Cat got him?
It was bound
Something
to
got
happen.
him.
It was bound to happen.
You had called it. Like, you'd called the shot.
Oh, yeah.
The last time we did this.
Yeah.
You're like, he's not. It's going to happen.
It's just a basic equation. It's like 1 + 1 = 2. Chicken's not going to the hen house. Chicken's not going to make it.
That's unreal.
Anyways.
Poor Featherfoot.
Featherfoot's gone.
So that's your haul. Or it's not your hauler. That's your check station story.
That's my update from the last check station.
Okay.
I've got
one.
Okay.
And it's not Featherfoot. We haven't talked about these yet, I don't think. At least not readily. The canoes.
Oh, yeah, I don't think so.
Okay, well, now we can. This is perfect.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to make a kind of a long story short, and you feel free to chime in the points where it's appropriate, because you're the one who's kind of kicked this whole saga off.
Yeah.
But Kyle comes to me 2.5 years ago-ish, and is saying, man, we've got this trout boat. We've got access to duck boats. We've got people with bass boats. I've got kayaks. I grew up on a canoe. And all those are great. Like every single one of those things, they're great. They're fun to drive. They're easy to fish for whatever you're doing. I would take a trout boat with oars going down the White River over any boating experience for the most part, any day of the week.
Yeah.
Like it just rocks.
Oh, yeah.
But you had said, I'm on the hunt for the ultimate Ozark watercraft.
Yeah.
And you have gone through no less than, I'm going to say 15 options. Like I was going back and tracking links earlier, and the amount of boat stuff you've sent me. I'm like, check this out.
Look at this thing.
I'm like, that's cool. It's a $30,000.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna buy that.
Yeah.
But it's cool. Or like, here's a skiff, and it's like it could work. It's like, yes, but they're in Florida.
Yeah.
And those are for salt flats, so it could work in a creek, but that's a salt flat boat. What are you gonna try to do to get it here? So you've been dreaming and scheming and planning and trying to figure out the ultimate Ozark creeking machine, and we think we've landed on it.
I think so.
And I think we've landed on it after a test period, which I'll get to in a moment. But you landed on, after a lot of research and a lot of conversation and a lot of phone calls, a 17-foot long, 44-inch wide, square stern canoe.
Yeah.
As like, that's what I want. It's safe enough for duck water, it's big enough for trout water, and yet it's small enough and light enough for skinny backwater, like free-flowing little creeks, right?
Yeah, and you can car top it.
And you can throw it on the top of your truck. Yeah, this thing weighs like 95 pounds or something.
Yeah, you don't need a trailer.
And so you landed on this canoe, and the brand that you landed on is a Skeef out of Canada.
Yeah, Quebec.
I wonder how they feel about the don't get on public land ban happening right now.
I do too. We should call it Jacques.
We should call him.
Jacques, the CEO of
Of course, if they're worried about wildfires, I imagine being in a canoe is not a problem.
Feels like a good spot to
Feels
be.
like a good place to be. You're on the water.
Time to get a canoe.
So you land on this is Skeef for all the reasons I just mentioned. Car top, light, big, stable, all this stuff. And you're looking around to try to figure out where to get one. One of the contacts was like, who was local, was like, I used to, but I don't, and you should just like contact them, that kind of deal. And so you contact the company, they answer in French.
Oh yeah.
And then
by the way, I had never even heard of a Skeef before this. Like, I'm familiar with, Winona, Buffalo,
Old Town
canoes like that around here that you just have seen.
And kayak stuff, like New Canoes popular.
Yep.
All those fishing kayaks,
Vibe, all that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, and I had never heard of them, but they were the only ones who made this square stern as wide as this is the widest square stern I could find with this lightweight material that was rugged enough for rocky Ozark rivers, that wasn't fiberglass or Kevlar or whatever lightweight material. And so, yeah, I just called them. I was like, I got to have one of these things. How can I get this to Arkansas? And yeah, they answered the phone in French, and they were like, I was like, oh yeah, anyone there who can speak English? I'm from Arkansas.
I'm a redneck.
Yeah, I'm gonna need some redneckese up in here.
I'm a hillbilly. I need to talk.
Yeah. And anyways, they were like, yeah, we think we can get it to you, and so we bought two. We got two.
Yep.
And we've been putting them to use, testing it out, because this is all in theory. And one of the main things too that I wanted it lightweight. I didn't want to trailer it. I wanted to be able to carry it, move it, camp in it, stow a ton of gear, pack out a bear, pack out a deer, duck hunt in it, take my dog, take my family, all the stuff. I was like, and it's so hard to find a versatile boat that can do everything well.
They almost don't exist.
They almost don't. You're buying specific boats for specific activities for the most part. And of course there will be shortcomings with this as well. But one of the other things was I want to be able to go by myself on a river. I don't want to have to worry about shuttling, because shuttling is it can be such a pain, especially when you're going 2-3 hours away wanting to float these little creeks. And it's a pain in the butt to take 2 cars or figure out a shuttle option. And I wanted to be able to put in, motor up river, take 30 minutes, an hour to motor up river, and then float back down to the truck and not have to worry about shuttling. And that was why I landed, square stern canoe that can float.
Because you can
super
throw
shallow.
a 3 horsepower motor on that thing.
Yeah.
And drive.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's the goal.
Yeah. Up to 5. It's rated for like 3.
Rated for 3.
3.5, but yeah, you can.
In theory, you could throw something big on it.
Oh yeah, you could put up to 5 or 6 maybe.
And this thing holds like 1,000 pounds.
1,200 pounds.
And yeah, so anyway, we have these 2 canoes now.
Yeah.
That I've been testing out, you've been testing out. They're registered, they're ready to go, got motors in, ready to go on that. And my check station is pretty simple. I took it out for its maiden voyage with my family on a lake just to putz around, and we lasted 22 minutes on the water. I timed it because my 1-year-old son hated it. I mean, just hated it.
Hated
He
it.
hates the life jacket, and dude screamed the whole time.
So he doesn't like the
Yeah,
canoe.
and my wife was like, "We're done with this."
Yeah,
and
we
then,
get
of course, my 4-year-old, she was thrilled to death that we were on the boat and was mad that we were done as quick as we were. And it took me longer to get it in the water and set up than we drove for.
We're actually using it.
Yeah. So I was also breaking in the motor and all that stuff. But I finally took it on its real maiden voyage this last weekend with our buddy Joe Massey, who y'all have heard from before on old check stations. He, hunt and fish together. Great friend, friend of the show, friend of ours personally.
Missouri boy.
Missouri boy. And his dad grew up in Neosho. And so he was like, I want to take you, and he grew up in Joplin. He's like, I want to take you kind of on my stomping grounds, like the creeks that I'm familiar with. And so we put in on the Slate River and did like a 2.5, 3 mile ish float and motor smallmouth fishing day. And dude was like thrilled to death. I think I called you on the way home just to say this thing rocks.
Yeah.
I mean, we were tracking it in small water. I was dropping the motor in when it was getting deep and still. At one point, I was pulling it behind me as we were walking different shoals to catch smallmouth, and it felt like I did not feel like pulling a canoe.
Yeah.
I grew up pulling big aluminum canoes, and that feels like pulling a canoe.
Oh yeah.
This does not. And so loaded up with coolers and food and fishing rods and gas and all the stuff, and worked like a dream.
Dude.
It was awesome.
I love it so far. I've taken it out twice now. I've floated it without the motor, taken it on a lake, just kind of breaking in the motor, same as you, and then last weekend took it out with Waylon, my new pup, just getting him used to the boat, putting it on the water, motoring around, doing some training on the boat, getting him to sit, just listen, just sit, lay down, shake, listen, just hear commands and be used to the motor. And yeah, I love it. Same thing, pulling it up rapids. I'm moving around, I'm motoring, and I love it, man. I'm excited. I'm really excited to put it to use this deer season, this duck season, and then just do some more smallmouth fishing on it. I also, it's wide enough. Like I've been standing up in it.
Oh, we did that a lot
as I'm casting, and I'm not worried about tipping at all. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's times Joe and I were both standing and casting and catching fish, and the thing's awesome.
Yeah, man, it's cool. It's a sweet rig. We'll be continue to experiment with it and posting some reels and stuff, so y'all can kind of get a better look at what these things look like. But
I'm trying to figure out how to do some easy YouTube stuff, just kind of showing how to put it together or what works or how to load it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm thinking through it. Don't get your hopes up.
Yeah.
Anybody, I'm just saying I'm trying to figure out, because I was surprised how much YouTube searching I was doing on motorized canoes and just like wasn't finding what I was looking for.
There's not a lot, man. I'm
kind of
surprised.
want to talk through it.
More people don't do stuff like this.
It's probably a pretty small market
Yeah.
of people who want a motorized canoe, but yeah, they're sweet. Thrilled to death.
That should grow. The market should grow because
We're gonna try our best to help that grow.
yeah, I think people will like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of, so that's your check station. That's pretty much mine too. Only thing other than that, we've been training Waylon the pup, man. He's getting smarter every day. He's learned how to shake. He's a really good retriever. I'm excited about that. He is just, man, he's a chewer. He won't stop. He is compulsively chewing on everything. And so we're working on that, trying to get him to stop. But other than that, man, he's a great dog.
Beautiful dog.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see him in his teenager phase.
Oh, yeah.
GSPs when they're lanky are awesome.
Oh, awkward.
They're so cool looking.
Hyper.
And hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
They just make me laugh.
It'll be fun.
Well, let's wrap this thing up.
Yeah, let's do it.
Y'all have heard us talk about it, but we've got a community on Patreon called the Holler. It's great. We're getting to talk with people. We're getting people asking questions on how to tie flies and where to get stuff and what we recommend caliber wise and where to hunt this or catch that or whatnot. And it's just great fun. But for this month, our giveaway is for this month.
Yep.
Okay.
Month of August.
Just making sure it was for August and not for the next one.
Yes.
For this month, our giveaway is coming at you from Vortex. Vortex, y'all have heard us do ads with them for a long time, but let me just say real quickly, they're a phenomenal company to work with. Like, I love working with them, and they're easy to work with, and they make great product. And so they are sending a Crossfire HD 1400 rangefinder for anybody in our Holler community. So one lucky man or woman will win that thing right in time for bow season.
That's right. Yeah.
Just ready to get dialed in and range that shot out to 22.5 yards and know your arc and how it's working and how to kill that deer.
Heck yeah. Yeah. That'll be for the Holler. That's part of the same Holler. And then we also have discounts that I'll just run through real quick just to make sure everyone knows. Moultrie has offered 20% off from their entire suite of products on Moultrie.com to the Holler. Diamond State Fly Co., our buddies over there, Morgan and Logan, 10% off their whole fly shop. Big Pete's Taxidermy. So deer season's coming up. I know you guys are going to want to get some mounts. 10% off of Big Pete's Taxidermy. Ben Levin Guide Trips. The Ben Levin, 10% off any guide trip with Ben. Our buddy Dan Roberts, Fly Fishing Casting Lessons, 10% off. And then lastly, Ozark Kayak, 10% off. And we were talking with Ozark Kayak, Keegan over there, and he's our newest partner of the Holler. And he thinks he can get those canoes down here in the Ozarks. And so, yeah, if you're looking for one.
That's news to me even.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he said, yeah, so reach out to him, and he's not carrying them right now, so it's like a special order thing, but he's the only person I've talked to around here, and I've talked to a few canoe outfitters around here, and he's like, yeah, I think I can get them. So if you want one, like if you're hearing us and you're like, I want to try it out, Keegan's the guy. And if you sign up for the Holler, you get 10% off, which will save you quite a bit of money.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the Holler. And then last thing, our bonus content for the month of August. You guys have already heard our episode with Zing Chanthavong, one of the premier guides on Beaver Lake for striper fishing and crappie and other types of fishing. But striper is kind of his sweet spot. You've already heard from him on how to catch striper. We did another episode with him that we saved. We put back. It's the good stuff just for the Holler, and it's his story of growing up. He was born in Southeast Asia. It's his parents' story of being refugees of the Civil War in Southeast Asia, between Laos and Thailand, and the communist regime was moving in. There's stories about his dad and his mom. His dad was captured by the communist regime, was stabbed and shot, and then escaped across the Mekong River. And then they made it into, I think, Thailand, and then they immigrated to America as refugees of war while Zing was a kid. And then how his story has kind of grown, and how he used the land and fishing to connect back to the land and become an American, become an Ozarker. And it's just it's a cool story, man. It's really interesting to hear people's upbringing like that. And, talking to him, you would never know that he was a refugee of war. He seems like somebody who really cares about the Ozarks and conservation. And it's a great story. So that's what we've got for the bonus content on the Holler.
Great. That's great. Well, that wraps this one. Wraps it up real nice, I think.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this episode or any other of our episodes, share them with a buddy. We really appreciate it. If you want to go back and listen to the Neosho episodes, if that segment kind of got you interested, we have pulled some of those up. They're in the main feed, but we've also made kind of our own show, just the Neosho show, different artwork within kind of the podcast channels. And if you're enjoying Dr. Blevin's old Ozarks, let us know.
Yeah.
We'd like to hear it. You can reach out to us through the ozarkpodcast.com. And I hope you're sighting your bow and tuning up your arrows and baiting a bear. I don't know, whatever it is you're doing. We hope you're enjoying it out here in the Ozarks. And we'll catch you on the next one.
See ya.